Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the most talented and fun-to-watch rising stars in the NBA. His smooth, controlled dribble moves and his shifty drives can only conjure up memories of certain NBA greats like Allen Iverson. As a Thunder fan, I can look towards our future with nothing but glee because of the amazing skill and potential of SGA. His rookie year with the Clippers was average, during which he contributed to the tough, gritty Clips team that pushed the Warriors to 6 games. In his breakout sophomore year, he put up averages of 19 points, 5.9 rebounds, 3.3 assists on 47.1% shooting from the field and 34.7% from the three. How did Shai get to this point? What was his journey like? And who was drafted before him? Let's get into it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was born on July 12, 1998 in Toronto, Ontario. His mother, Charmaine, was a former track star who competed in the 1992 Olympics, and his father, Vaughn, was coaching Shai when he was young. In 2015, he moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and attended Hamilton Heights Christian Academy, and as a senior, he averaged 18.4 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 4.0 assists. He was ranked as a four-star recruit on ESPN and originally committed to play at Florida, but after reopening his recruitment in 2016, he committed to play for Kentucky. His career at Kentucky would start off on the bench, as he sat behind fellow point guard Quade Green. However, he began to show his true talents with a string of nice games, including 24 points against Louisville, 21 points against Georgia, and 18 points against LSU. He played great in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament and dramatically increased his draft stock heading into the 2018 draft. He was chosen to be on the SEC All-Freshman team, second-team All-SEC, and was the SEC tournament MVP. Despite this play, the Wildcat season would end in the Sweet 16 against Kansas State, and he would promptly declare for the 2018 draft. He finished his lone collegiate season averaging 14.4 points, 4.4 rebounds, 5.1 assists, and 1.6 steals per game, while shooting 48.5% from the field and 40.4% from three. Heading into the draft, Shai was regarded as a very intriguing prospect. His 6'6" height and his 7-foot wingspan, combined with his playmaking ability, made him a Lonzo Ball-esque prospect. Scouts loved his height and wingspan, but were worried that his thin frame would make him ineffective in the league. They also were concerned with his mediocre jump shot and questionable decision-making. SGA, however, made many scouts drool. Ryan Blackburn wrote that, quote, "As far as slashers in this draft, there aren't many that are more talented than Gilgeous-Alexander. The thin point guard has some of the best touch approaching the basket in the entire draft, which is the skill that raises his floor as a prospect up to backup point guard levels. In the pick and roll, off the catch, and in isolation, SGA has excellent instincts and quick, fluid movements that allow him to slither past his defender or between two different ones. Scouts also loved his defensive potential, his finishing, and his passing ability. On draft night 2018, Shai was drafted number 11th by the Charlotte Hornets, but was promptly traded on draft night to the Los Angeles Clippers for the 12th pick that would become Mikal Bridges and 2 additional second-round picks. Now, let's get into the players drafted before SGA and see how their short careers look in comparison to this rising star. With the first pick, the Phoenix Suns selected DeAndre Ayton, center out of Arizona, who is widely regarded as the safest pick in the draft, one who wouldn't boom or bust really. He used his huge frame at Arizona to toy with the defenders in the post and dominate college basketball to the tune of 20.1 points, 11.6 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks per game. The Suns picked him to be their center of the future, a Karl Malone to Devin Booker's John Stockton. To be honest, Ayton hasn't disappointed. His rookie year was quite good, averaging 16 points and 10 rebounds with a block a game. He looked a lot less dominant than at Arizona, considering he was not a man amongst boys anymore. He was picked to be on the all-rookie first team and was widely regarded as one of the best young centers in the league. Unfortunately, he got caught using PEDs heading into the 2019-2020 season and was suspended to 25 games. After he served his suspension, he came back looking even better than last year. He put up 18 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game in his sophomore year. Ayton helped the Suns go on their magical 8-0 run during the bubble. However, they sadly were not able to make it into the playoffs. Optimism is high for Ayton and the Suns, as many analysts predict Ayton to hopefully add a working three-point shot into his game, and many view the Suns as a future playoff hopeful. If Ayton continues to play the way that he has and continues to get better, the Suns should be happy with their pick, as they found their new franchise center. With the second pick, the Sacramento Kings selected Marvin Bagley III, center out of Duke. Bagley entered the draft as one of the most prolific, high-flying talents in the entire class. Coming out of Duke, he was many people's pick to go number one due to his generational athleticism and energy. He finished his career at Duke averaging 21 points and 11 rebounds, was the National Freshman of the Year, was voted an AP First-Team All-American. Safe to say, his stellar play in college has not transferred over to the NBA so far. Whether it's been due to injury, poor coaching, or lack of effort, Bagley has not lived up to the hype and has not produced big numbers. He averaged 14.8 points on 50% from the field and 7.6 rebounds, and has only played 75 games in his 2 seasons in the league. He made the All-Rookie First Team and has been a solid power forward for the Kings, but just can't stay on the court. His lack of shooting and poor play on defense make him less effective when he even is on the court. Honestly, much of this stunt in development can be attributed to the dumpster fire that is the Sacramento Kings organization and their poor coaching hire, aka Luke Walton. He's still young and has a lot of time left to make his mark on the league. With the third pick, the Atlanta Hawks selected Luka Doncic, point guard from Real Madrid in the EuroLeague, and immediately traded him to the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic is already one of the best players in the NBA and has a legit shot at winning next year's MVP award. He's been flat out unreal. He's only 21 and has the skills of a 10-year vet, which can be attributed to the fact that this guy has been playing pro basketball since he was 15 years old. Doncic averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in only 24 minutes of play in his last season at Real Madrid, and has doubled those stats in his 2 first years in the NBA. Doncic was able to win Rookie of the Year in 2019, was on the All-Rookie First Team, and was an NBA All-Star in 2020. He's averaging 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists, a near triple-double on the playoff Mavs team. He also led the Mavs to the greatest statistical offensive season by a team in NBA history. Doncic is widely regarded as the best young star in the league and has a chance to go down as the greatest Euro NBA player in NBA history if he continues on this trajectory. He's simply unbelievable. His step back is one of the dirtiest in the league, and he has all the skills of a superstar in the making. With the addition of Kristaps Porzingis to the Mavs, we should be expecting to see Luka and the Mavs deep in the playoffs for years to come. And without a doubt, the Mavs got the best player in this draft class. With the fourth pick, the Memphis Grizzlies selected Jaren Jackson Jr., power forward out of Michigan State. Coming out of MSU, Triple J was touted as one of the best defensive players in this class. He was also hyped up because he was a 6'11 rim protector with a great outside jumper. He didn't put up eye-popping stats in college, only 11 points and 6 rebounds, but the Grizzlies still picked him because of his amazing potential. And safe to say it was well worth it. Triple J has been one of the best young big men in the league and has averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game on the rising Grizzlies. He's been exceptional on defense, being able to effectively protect the rim and can occasionally defend small guards on the perimeter during switches. He was selected to the 2019 All-Rookie team and improved even more this year. He and running mate Ja Morant led the surprise Memphis team to an impressive record. However, they lost the play-in versus the Blazers in the bubble. Unfortunately, in the bubble, Jaren tore his meniscus, and we hope he can get back to form next year. Triple J has all the tools to be a cornerstone modern-day big man for years to come, so the Grizzlies must definitely love this pick.
With the fifth pick, the Dallas Mavericks selected Trae Young, the point guard out of Oklahoma. From OSU, this young crafty guard was considered one of the more talented players in a very talented draft. The averages of 27, 4, and 9 on 42% shooting from the field, 36 from the three-point line, and 86 shooting splits. This kid was destined to be a star. Throughout his college career, one of the most unique things about him was his shooting ability. There's only one word to describe it, really, and it's insane. The Oklahoma guard was shooting shots from the logo as if they were free throws. Coming into the draft, questions flared about where the guard would start off his career. Teams ponder over the idea on if he'd be able to reach his potential or not. On draft night, the Dallas Mavericks selected him, only to make him the primary trade to the Atlanta Hawks. The trade saw the Slovenian guard/forward Luka Doncic head to Dallas, and the Oklahoma guard was set to start off his career in the A. Start off his rookie year, he wasn't exactly a dominant force. With subpar shooting splits, a lot of people started to write him off. After All-Star break, and since then, really, he's been out of this world. This year, he put up averages of 29.6 points per game, about 9 assists a game, about 4 rebounds. His only legitimate flaw would be his defense, which hasn't pinned as one of the worst defenders in the entire league. But luckily, he's playing on a team that has a pretty bright future with, his in a way, his Stoudemire to his Steve Nash and Stoudemire, his John Collins, he's a really good power forward. A good big man, he's a good offensive big man too, an underrated player in my opinion. You never know what could happen in the future with the Atlanta Hawks. With the 6th pick, the Orlando Magic selected Mo Bamba out of Texas. Whether you've heard his name from Sheck West's hit single titled, well, you guessed it, Mo Bamba, or you've heard his name from his playing abilities, Bamba played for the Texas Longhorns in college. He was an instant 12 and 10 big man, double-double. His defense was extremely dominant and made him extremely coveted from many teams in the draft. Right now he's playing for the Orlando Magic, right behind the multi-talented Nikola Vucevic. Personally, as a fan of just wanting to see players succeed, I would like to see him on a different team. I'd like to see him get traded to a team where he has more of an opportunity to play freely. Because right now he's coming off the bench and that's stunning his growth, really. He should be on a team where he's able to just hoop and develop. But right now, him coming off the bench behind Vucevic is stunting his growth in a way. With the 7th pick, the Chicago Bulls selected Wendell Carter Jr. Wendell Carter Jr. for the Chicago Bulls is an extremely underrated player. With averages of about 11 and 9, the big man plays his role. Unfortunately, he was on a Chicago Bulls team with not even playoff aspirations, really. The fans hated their former coach, Jim Boylan. They felt like he just wasn't it. He wasn't going to get them anywhere. Which I can see where they're coming from after watching a couple of Bulls games. Luckily, they're now looking towards the future with new management. Wendell seems to be part of their plans. We know with other talented young standouts like Zach LaVine, Kobe White, Larry Markkinen, and even Chris Dunn, another guard a lot of people have written off. Who I think if you give him like 3 more years, he might be able to reach his defensive potential. The Cleveland Cavaliers. They selected Collin Sexton with the 8th pick. The guard from Alabama is known for his intensity. His hustle is really what separates him from the rest of the pack. They're putting up averages this year about 21 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. It shows that he's a natural in the scoring department. It shows that the position that he's been drafted to play, which was specifically point guard, he really shouldn't be playing. That point guard. He should be playing at the shooting guard. Now, although he's playing with a fellow backcourt member like Darius Garland, it really is better. It would be more better for him to achieve his offensive success playing in a lineup where he's the primary focus. You put him on a bad team like the Cavs are, but you let him be the primary focus. You let him score a lot. He could be an easy 23-point per game guy. Right now he's averaging 21. It's only his 2nd year. This 3rd year, hopefully, has some good signs for him in the Cavaliers organization. With the 9th pick, the New York Knicks selected Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox, as somebody who lives in New York, I can say I've watched a lot of Knicks games, and my expectations for Kevin Knox were pretty high, I guess. I assumed he could be a lethal offensive player. So far, he has not done that. His first year, he was alright, with averages about 13 points per game. This year, he dropped that down from 13 to 6 points per game. Obviously, people, it's easy to make fun of the New York Knicks or whatever, but one of the unfortunate things about him is that he's just not the guy they thought he was. The Knicks have had history when it comes to drafting guys like Frank Ntilikina, who hasn't exactly achieved their potential yet, but maybe in the future, we can see a dominant offensive scorer in Kevin Knox, and even defender too. One of the bright spots of New York Knicks was when they drafted Kristaps Porzingis, who also he was at his best on the Knicks when it really comes to his offensive game. He averaged the most points. It was also on the Knicks, but now on the Mavericks. With the 10th pick, the Philadelphia 76ers selected Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is mainly known for his defense, really. His eager out there. I've watched him play against the Timberwolves last year with Derrick Rose on the Timberwolves while I was watching the game. He's not a bad defender. He's a good perimeter defender. He can come out and guard your one or two, even in three, depending on what the three is. His defense is what makes him stand out. His offense it's not there yet. I do think as years go by, he'll likely develop into a more lethal offensive player, playing behind Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, who, DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, those two right there are extremely skilled young players. Devin Booker, it goes without saying, the guy scored 70 in a game and lost. That pretty much sums up his entire playing career, playing on a team where it's like he does everything out there, but he's not exactly winning games, which isn't, I wouldn't blame that on him, but I feel like guys like DeAndre Ayton, who we've already mentioned, and Mikal Bridges, if he can, reach at least decent, at least good 3-and-D player status, it could really help that team. He can start hitting bigger shots, his confidence start rising, become a big shot maker. His defense is always going to be there. When you're just a good defender, it's hard for that to just go away. Especially when you're out there hustling, it's hard for that to just disappear. And there you have it.